This is Jimmy Cab's Tape the Broadcast 5150 interview series in Bulldozer Magazine here on a lovely Tuesday heavy night at Footsie's with the one and only guest DJ for tonight, Caton W. De La Pena. How are you?
Good to see you, Jimmy.
You're going to be DJing tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. These guys, they know what they're doing, I don't, but I'm just going to spin what I like to spin, metal.
Do you realize that this is indeed the elite of the Los Angeles underground DJs? They spin nothing but vinyl, all the rare, obscure shit.
I learned that.
No Metallica Enter Sandman here.
No,
buddy.
they don't play around. Well, the funny thing was they called me a couple of days ago and they were like, we only do vinyl, so dig in your vinyl. I normally I don't, but for these guys, because they are badass, went in my vinyl and picked out some classics. So
now let me ask you this, because a lot of gentlemen our age, from our era, went through that phase, late 80s, early 90s, when they had to dump all their vinyl for Sade records or, do you still have a lot of that classic shit? I know I do.
Not as much as I used to have. I didn't dump it for Sade, but I did dump some, which I regret. So
why? Why would you dump your vinyl?
I don't think you think about it back then until later. You're like, fuck, why did I get rid of my shit? So yeah, I regret a lot of it. I got rid of most of my stuff, and then But the fun part is, and this is for the people that did dump their shit, going back out and shopping and finding the shit again. And some of it you're smarter again, so you'll find it for better prices. But yeah, a lot of it I'm recollecting or I'm buying stuff I never had. But yeah, I got rid of shit. I'll admit it. Some guys won't, but yeah, I fucked up.
Don't sell your vinyl.
Do not sell your vinyl. Sell everything else, but not your vinyl.
Here's the deal. You just got back from Europe. You've been supporting Immortal Legacy. How did that tour go?
It was all right. It was a lot of work, though. And I gotta give credit to the band, because those guys are fucking road dogs, and it's not easy. Like, people think that you're always traveling in nice fucking, mobile homes and tour buses, but sometimes you're in vans, So, no, it was rough, but we did good, and now we're back and trying to kind of settle down and refocus and then go back out. But we're going to do what we're going to talk about next. We got this special event coming up. I think you need to plug the special event.
It's interesting when I talk to individuals that reminisce about the old days. As we know, on November 6th and 7th, there's going to be a very, very special event going on entitled the Jesse Pintado Grindcore Festival, and you're going to be headlining the first date.
Well, co-headlining, but us and Excel, old friends, and I think it's going to be awesome because we haven't played together in probably 30 years, and it's for Jesse and his family and his sister and his brother-in-law to be, and so we're looking forward to it. And for me, it's really an honor because Jesse was an awesome dude.
Yeah, we all come from the Tape Trader Underground community back in the early '80s is what the internet is now. You had a relationship with Jesse.
Yeah.
Any special memories that you have with Jesse Pintado?
Many, but the best was probably him just calling me drunk in the morning, like at 2 and 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. He never gave a shit what time he called. He would just call. And,
I don't think his family wants that.
But he was a special dude. So like for me, my lifestyle was pretty much the same. So I didn't mind him calling, but we would just talk about metal and just talk shit and have fun. And he was always the real deal. Like, he was always from the heart, and what he loved about music, he used to call it ugly metal. And, that was his thing. He said it had to be filthy, ugly, and heavy, and that he always did that with his music. So for me, I still think about the guy to this day, and even in my house, I have a thing from his funeral that hangs on my wall. That I got from his sister at the funeral. So it's still up in my house, and he's still in my thoughts. And dude was awesome. He was a fucking great guy. So
it's interesting because when you think back to that time, this music wasn't what it is now, man.
Not even cool back yet. It wasn't really happening. People were kind of trying to wrap their heads around it, especially with, like, say, a band like Napalm Death, because that shit was wicked. Nobody was doing that yet. And so he truly is, he's a godfather of grindcore as far as I'm concerned. He's one of the guys that helped bring it to the forefront. And for me, it's an honor because when he was younger, he used to come to our shows. So, and he always stayed down to earth, too. He never got big-headed. That's what I really loved about him. Even when they got really popular, he was the same guy, and that's not easy to maintain. A lot of guys lose their cool once they get big. But I miss him, And so I think that night everybody will be thinking about him. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll celebrate his life, you know.
How do you feel that you inspired musicians like Jesse Pintado back in the day?
It's the biggest compliment any musician can get.
It's got to be, right?
For me, it's bigger though because he was in a great band. So when there's something that turned out good, you got to be proud of that. And also, I like Napalm Death, especially the stuff that he played on. Even the earlier shit before he was in the band was great. But Jesse had his own thing, man. You know, like. Some things you can't put in a bottle, you know. He was outside of a bottle. He was something bigger than that. So I think that's why people are still talking about him to this day, and he deserves it. Awesome, man. I mean, I remember the day I got the call that he died. It sucked, you know. It was one of the saddest days of my life. And one of my biggest regrets with Jesse was that they were playing, I believe they were playing at the Whiskey A Go-Go a long time ago. One of those venues, but I'm pretty sure it was the Whiskey, and he called me up and said, hey, come on down. And me being the drunk bastard that I am, I never made it. But I regretted that because that would have been the last time I saw him, you know. So, you know, you're not supposed to live with regrets, but I do regret that because he was a good guy. And that he would just take the time out to call, even if he was drunk, meant a lot to me, you know. So, but then you, later on, you get to remember while he used to call, and so that was a special time, and you never forget those special times, you know.
Does that make your performance for Grindcore on November 6th even more memorable and more special for you to really go out and give it all?
Pay respect to the guy, yeah.
Right?
Because even him, he would have, if he was still around, he would have probably put this bill together anyways. So, yeah, it's definitely in memory of him, and I have to go more than 110%. Because also there's going to be a lot of fuckers like you there, so I got to make sure I fucking end up either bleeding sweat or something. But, yeah, it's going to be fun, and I think that it's going to be good for all the people in the whole grindcore and LA metal scene, you know. Everybody's going to come out. And also for me, it's an honor just because his sister is awesome. Emma's, she's good people, and when she asked us to do it, there was, you know, I mean, you were also involved in this as well, but when you guys came up with the idea, and then there was no way I could say no.
This is interesting. A lot of people don't know that you played on the first Jesse Pintado Memorial.
Hell yeah. That was us and I think Assassino, and I think Demolition, and I can't remember everybody, but that was a long time ago. That was the very first one. Dude, you got a fucking good memory.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, so yeah, the first one, and this is going to be even more to me. This is a bigger special thing because he's been gone for a while. Nobody's forgotten Jesse. That's awesome.
For anyone that is planning on attending both shows, you got to remember that this show is to really honor and also reflect on his life.
Oh, yeah.
An individual that really loved music just like we did back in the day when it wasn't commercial, when it wasn't accessible, and really paved the way for a lot of new bands, like a lot of new bands that you have paved the way for.
Yeah, but what they did was something astronomical, you know, and he was a big part of like what's still going on, like grindcore, death metal, any of that stuff. He's going to always be a big part of that. When they go back in the history of all that music, they're going to remember Jesse, and that says a lot about his character. He's an awesome guy, and he had a vision. He had a vision. Some people didn't understand it in the beginning, but he definitely had a vision, and look at what he did. So, to all the posers, fuck you.
What better way to end it than this? November 6th, Hirax, Excel, and a whole other bunch of great bands. Grindcore.
Be there, and remember Jesse Pintado. Long live Jesse. Metal.